Apple just sued a product that does not exist. No name, no ship date, no photo, nobody outside has ever seen it. And Apple's lawyers are treating it like the end of the iPhone. I dug through the court records and the reporting, and one number in there tells you exactly how scared Apple is. It's not the number you think. Quick recap if you missed Friday's video. Apple walked into federal court and sued OpenAI. 40 pages of trade secret theft allegations, and the full breakdown is on this channel. But here's the thing. The most interesting name on that lawsuit is not OpenAI. It's Defendant number 2, a quiet little company called IO Products, a company that exists to build exactly one thing, the device that comes after the iPhone. And Apple named it in a federal lawsuit before the world has even seen it. OpenAI paid $6.5 billion for this company. That is their largest acquisition ever, by far. Nobody spends that on a maybe, and Apple's lawsuit names it directly as a defendant. Which raises an obvious question. Why would the biggest company on Earth sue a product that nobody has seen? Because Apple knows exactly who is building it. And once you see the names, this stops being a lawsuit and starts being a family feud. Start with the founders. IO was founded in 2024 by 4 people, and it raised $225 million before showing anyone anything. All 4 founders came from Apple. Founder 1, Jony Ive, the man who designed the iPhone and the iMac and the iPod, the most famous industrial designer alive. Founder 2, Evans Hankey. When Ive left Apple, she's the one who took over industrial design. His literal, hand-picked successor. Founder 3, Tang Tan. He ran product design for the original iPhone, then the entire iPhone team, then Apple Watch. The man shipped everything in your pocket, 24 years inside Apple. And today, Tang Tan is OpenAI's chief hardware officer. Sit with that for a second. Founder 4, Scott Cannon, ex-Apple Manufacturing. So that's design, product, and manufacturing. That is Apple's entire product development machine, reassembled. And they brought friends. By the acquisition, IO had 55 people. Today, reports count more than 400 former Apple employees inside OpenAI's hardware division alone. So Apple isn't afraid of a gadget. It's afraid of its own product machine, rebuilt in someone else's building. The timeline shows how fast this happened. Founded in 2024, OpenAI quietly buys 23% for $1.5 billion within the year. Full acquisition by May, and now the lawsuit. Okay, so what are these 400 people actually building in there? The reporting paints a surprisingly clear picture. Pocket-sized, screenless, voice first. No display at all if the reporting holds. The anti-iPhone, built by the iPhone's own parents. It has cameras and microphones, so it understands where you are and what's happening around you. Context is the entire product. Sam Altman's pitch is a third core device. Your phone, your laptop, and this thing, riding along with you all day. And it's not even one product. Reports describe multiple form factors in development. An earbud codenamed Sweet Pea. A pen codenamed Gumdrop. Manufacturing goes through Foxconn, after OpenAI reportedly shifted the order away from a Chinese supplier. Foxconn, the same partner that builds the iPhone. Of course it is. Now here's the number that nobody is talking about. The initial production target, straight from the supply chain reporting, 40 to 50 million units. On the first run. For context, the original iPhone, the most successful product of all time, sold about 6 million units in its entire first year. It goes further. Foxconn has reportedly been told to prepare production capacity for 5 different OpenAI devices by late 2028. 5. That is not a gadget launch. That is a platform invasion, planned at beyond iPhone scale from day one. And here's the wildest part. The project is actually in trouble. Problem 1. The device has no name. I'm not being cute. It legally lost its own name in court. A tiny startup called IYO, spelled IYO, sued over the IO name back in June 2025. And it just keeps winning, at every level. The court's logic was brutal and simple. The 2 names differ by exactly 1 letter, and they are pronounced identically. Done. Then this March, IYO went further and added trade secret theft claims of its own against the hardware team. So one single unreleased device is now fighting 2 separate trade secret battles at the same time. Apple on one front, IYO on the other. Problem 2. The ship date slipped. Badly. And we only know the new date because of a court filing. Not a keynote, a court filing. 9 to 5. Mac got the detail in February. The hardware is delayed. It won't be called I/O, and per a court filing it ships no earlier than 2027. The original plan was this year. That slipped a full year while the lawsuits piled up. February 2027, at the very earliest. The original plan was to ship this year. Everything between now and then is lawyers, leaks, and prototypes. Problem 3. And per the reporting, this is the deep one. They still haven't nailed the device's personality, the privacy story, or the compute behind it. Because every single answer this device gives has to come from a data center somewhere. There is no screen to hide behind. Just a voice that has to be right. Now picture 50 million always listening devices, all phoning home to those data centers all day. Do the math on that compute bill. All right, back to Apple's complaint. Because the sequel to Friday's video has an actual smoking gun in it, and it's 2 words long. Meet the moment. An iPhone engineer named Chang Liu, who had already left Apple and was working inside OpenAI's hardware division, he discovers something wild. He can still reach Apple's internal servers. A software bug left the door wide open after he walked out. His message to a friend, and this is a direct quote from the complaint. LOL. I found out I can access the network storage. So funny. That friend still worked at Apple at the time. Her entire reply, again quoting, I'm ready. Apple says that access was used to download presentations, hardware designs, manufacturing procedures, and testing methods. The crown jewels of how Apple builds things. And the friend? She joined OpenAI's hardware group in April. You genuinely cannot write a better script than this. That LOL message is now essentially Exhibit A in a federal trade secrets case. Let that be today's career advice. Okay, step back with me. Why does this one unnamed, unfinished, twice-sued device terrify the most valuable company on Earth? Because Apple's own AI story is a rental. Siri is reportedly powered by a custom version of Google's Gemini for about $1 billion a year. I covered that deal in Friday's video. So if the next computing platform really is screenless and AI first, Apple starts that race from zero, exactly like everybody else. Except the one team with a genuine head start is made of Apple's own alumni, running on OpenAI's models. That is the nightmare scenario in Cupertino. Can the lawsuit actually stop them? It can slow them down and make hiring uglier. But discovery cuts both ways. Apple's own secrets get aired in that courtroom too, and if the device flops, like most first-generation hardware does, then Apple sued a ghost. But the 400 people are gone either way. So here's what I'd actually take away from all of this. 3 things. 1. Watch teams, not products. 400 people moving between 2 companies is the real product announcement. Everything else is a press release. 2. The iPhone's successor might genuinely be built by the same people who built the iPhone, just not at Apple. History is rhyming, hard. 3. February 2027 is the real date. Mark it. Everything between now and then is litigation noise and leaked prototypes. So keep one eye on the courtroom and both eyes on Foxconn's production lines. That's where the truth will show up first. This story is far from over, and Thursday, the next domino falls. Gemini 3.5 reportedly goes live, and I'll break down what it means for this whole war the moment it drops. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm Dex. See you in the next one.